So, what is everybody's idea on what should be discussed each time? Is there a consistent through line for the topics, or is it just whatever is big that day or that week, or what is happening in our lives? What would you suggest?
Gosh, a little bit of column A and B and C. I don't know. It's tempting to talk of all of them because um, I just like you texted me, Bob, the other day to watch Kunk from Earth and watched it and loved it. And I want to talk
Hmm.
about that now.
Yeah, she's funny, man, and I've never seen a BBC doc, and
No,
I was told that was a spoof of a BBC doc,
it's like
and
Borat
so
crossed with a BBC doc. It's fascinating.
yeah, how did it go? Good. Um, And now I'm told that there's a movie on Netflix with Eddie Murphy. The title escapes me. Apparently, it's some sort of mashup
You,
with Jonah Hill of
yeah,
Jewish
yeah,
culture and hip hop culture.
yep. It's like a white boy dating his black daughter, and he's very upset by that. It's as
Yeah.
only Eddie Murphy can be upset by that.
And they get 90 minutes out of that.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Hmm.
Well, I wish I could tell you there's something out there that I recommend, but it is not on Netflix. I probably won't be able to recommend anything until the new season of Succession starts or the new season of Barry starts.
Yeah, I saw it. Succession starts on March 21st, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Saw the preview
Not
for
that far,
that.
not that far away.
Yeah. Um, yeah, FHBO. I don't know. You do know of or have you seen in the theater the Banshees of Inisherin?
I have.
Okay. What
Yeah.
did you think?
I thought again, loaves and fishes, man. How did they get 90 minutes out of two guys deciding not to be friends anymore? That was amazing.
I just think it's hilarious. I thought it was just, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's just such a simple premise
Yeah.
and really just kept going and going. But I'm like, is this is a movie? I mean,
Right.
it's just like all the Oscar nominees are like so, I mean, just they're different. I don't know if they're better. I don't know if
Yeah.
they're good. They're just different, like everything everywhere all at once. I mean, did you see that one?
No. I'm
Okay.
not a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon special effects martial arts
Or
type
it's a
guy.
more multiverse than anything else. I thought it was more close to being a superhero movie than anything.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so she deserves her Oscar nomination?
She was very good. Again, I don't think I liked the movie. I didn't love it.
Hmm.
I didn't think it was a
Hmm.
great movie, but people are just gaga over it.
Yeah. And Jamie Lee Curtis is deglammed for this, I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, she's still at it. If she's not doing a Halloween sequel, she's doing this.
Hmm. And what do you make of the big flap over the movie that's made all of $27,000?
Yeah,
I
well,
heard, I mean, I saw the trailer, I want to say, for To Leslie in
as
a
they would
theater.
say,
I'm thinking,
Bob,
wow, Andrea Riseborough, this erudite Brit classical actress, as a hillbilly. Who'd have thought
yeah,
it, you
as you
know?
would say, Bob, she's a nice piece of chicken.
Yeah. But I did not know that the director was married to one of the cheerleaders for Andre Riseborough, and that there's the rub. I mean, they think that some of the campaign was a little over the top compared to the other
Well,
campaigns.
yeah, and it's very a lot of the what they were saying were the deserving candidates were African American movie actresses. So
Hmm.
um yeah, I don't know. That's where the hubbub comes from, I guess.
Whenever the setting has to do with a rural area and white
Uh,
trash, having been brought up in that atmosphere, I usually try to steer clear of that and get taken to a place I've never been, like Ireland. Those two guys'
yeah,
chemistry is just so
yeah, it was
fantastic.
beautiful.
And I like movies that I've never seen before, as opposed to these sequels and
Right.
Marvel spectacles. So,
Right. Like
it'll all
Top
shake
Gun.
out.
Top
I don't
Gun
know
was a
whether
perfectly fine sequel.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I just said top. You said sequels, and I said Top Gun is a perfectly good sequel. It was basically a copy of the first one, just with different
Yeah.
actors and Tom Cruise. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was told that it was quite an improvement from the special effects standpoint, that there were some amazing scenes of
Sure.
these guys in flight
Mhm. Sure.
and
I mean, I
Tom Cruise
guess,
doing his own stunts.
right. If you want special effects, yeah, there's Avatar. And I don't know. To me, it's like, and I think you agree, Bob, it's like special effects does not make a movie. I'm just like,
Hmm.
I was never, I was, I wasn't wowed the first time Avatar came out. I was like, oh, this is interesting. But I wear glasses. It's like putting those 3D glasses over on the top of this one was just not an enjoyable experience for me. I don't think I achieved what everybody else was enjoying.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't
I
make it
pitched
through that one
something the
either.
other day. I'm sorry?
I didn't make it through Avatar either. That was a tough one.
did you see the second one?
No, I don't. I'm not.
It is.
That's why I'm not speaking up right now. I haven't watched many movies lately, except for Glass Onion. I managed to catch that.
I
Yeah,
did too.
I liked Glass
I
Onion. I
saw,
mean, yeah.
see, here's the deal. If you wait long enough, they'll eventually come to your home.
Oh yeah,
And so I waited for Glass Onion, saw that. The Menu about the evil chef,
I haven't seen it, but is it good?
saw that at home. Yeah, it's not Birth of a Nation or anything, but it's got some unique, interesting moments if you like. And I like the way it's organized. It's organized like a menu. You go
Oh,
from the starters all the way to dessert, and they announce what they're about to have, and within each course is a plot point. So I thought that was really novel.
lots of good actors too. I was just curious, is it horrific? Is there blood and guts? Or is
Oh
this more,
yeah,
oh, geez, I'm not a big
oh
fan of
yeah.
that.
Anytime you have butchers in a kitchen with big knives, there's got to be some bloodletting.
I
But
guess.
It's okay.
No, we're gonna die tonight.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
here's a good example from current events right now out of the corner of my eye, and I'm trying not to look. It's the third police attack video of the week. And I don't know whether you know this, but the Los Angeles police, who wrote the book on police brutality,
Yes.
it's almost like there's a rivalry between them and Memphis. They've shot in the back. What the hell? They've shot in the back a double amputee
He's
who they
frozen.
claim was threatening them with a knife. As he pitches forward from his wheelchair, mortally wounded, what do? Do they A, render aid, or B, handcuff him? I mean, uh, what gets me through each day intellectually are the mysteries. Why are certain things happening? For instance, why is your screen continuing to freeze? Kurt, would you have any ideas on that?
No, I think I'm going to blame Kel's internet connection on that.
Yeah.
Quick digression to my previous digression about police brutality, and I realize it's not the most upbeat topic. But as I told I don't know, are you familiar with MinPost, which is the online local news, or one of them?
I know you like to post
I
there.
told him in a comment today, having observed these things happening weekly or monthly throughout my entire life, and I'm just a white guy, I'm just thinking, why would you want to live here if your skin is black? Why wouldn't you find, like, go to Canada, go to any place where you run less of a risk of having your life taken from you violently at a traffic stop? Doesn't
Yeah,
that seem obvious that you're
I
not going
know.
to get cut any slack in this country? And it's not just a matter of backward southern cities or, highbrow or middlebrow northeastern cities. It happens everywhere. Every week, Reverend Al is giving a eulogy for someone we didn't know about, until 5 people ended his life with primitive tools, hands and feet.
Yeah.
It just blows me away. I
No,
don't get
it
it.
does. I often think if roles were reversed, what would if white people were getting you know, hassled and pulled over and you got a broken taillight, sir. What would we do? I mean, I don't know. It's like you stay and fight to live another day, or I don't know. It's frustrating. The race relations in this godforsaken country.
So, and he is just Tyree Nichols is just one example of comply with these bizarre instructions, or you're wondering, I wonder why 5 guys are surrounding my car. I wonder what's up here.
Right.
If I were armed like Philando Castile was before he died,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I would have to pull over for God knows what technicality. I would have to try to defend myself. If I knew I was going to die anyway, one or more of them would have to go down with me. And it's just so silly
Yeah.
for a traffic stop, for a
Innocent.
cracked
Yeah.
tail light or an expired license tab. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
Were your parents conceal and carry folks?
They didn't, no, not outside the home. They were, but the weapon, the one weapon I know about, was poorly stored in the tradition of the 6-year-old child that got a hold of his family's firearm and took it to school. It
Little
was that poorly stored.
little Bobby.
And there are laws in many states that you must store your firearm lock and key out of the reach of children. And this, obviously, the one in Virginia was not the case. They're just stuff, the same mistake keeps happening over and over.
Yeah.
And that fascinates me and it depresses me.
Right. It's just I don't know how we can't learn from mistakes, but you are correct.
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
speaking of that,
yeah.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking that the Memphis was interesting because it was a squad of the Scorpion squad, that the squad of 5 black officers, or a special unit. Have you seen that? That's another HBO show that was just out. We Own the City.
I've not
It's
seen it.
okay. I think it's set in Baltimore. Basically, this rogue set of officers, they're up for going into homes, taking the drugs, also taking anything else they can get their hands on, like big stashes of money, and then just writing up to saying, hey, we're taking from the bad guys, why, and we don't get paid a lot, so let's just keep it.
Yeah.
Both black and white officers are doing
Yeah.
that just because they have the power. But
See, that's the aspect that I thought would confound the civil rights activists, was the fact that all of these attacking officers were black.
right.
But I happen to think, and I'm no psychiatrist, I can't analyze one person, let alone an entire race and the subsets of that race, any race. But I have a feeling there's something about a uniform, a badge, and a gun that turns a black man into a white man.
That's a fair point.
You know?
Either that or it's just not a racial issue, and it is ultimately just a police issue, and we're just not training these people. They're all, I mean, a friend of mine has, his son just went through the program at North Dakota State University to become a police officer, and now is in St. Cloud as like a junior police officer. And he's a smart kid who went through school and did this and that, and I think he wants to make a difference. But then you have the other guys who are military, went into the military, and they've learned this gung-ho attitude of just drop and give me 20, just the whole whatever, the He-Man, I got to make somebody hurt in order to make them understand what to do. So you have those two sides of police officing, trying to live in the same world, and I just think that's the mess.
It's a power thing. I didn't know until recently, and I forget how I came across this knowledge, that never having seen an episode of Law and Order, it was some sort of report on how the entirety of the Law and Order series, when distilled, it becomes a publicity or promotional tool of modern police forces.
Yeah.
That everything is seen from their side.
Correct. What was it? The guy who was Wolf? The guy at the end of the Law and Order
Yeah.
episodes?
I know you're talking about.
You watch John Oliver, right? That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where I think he came up. Well, he mentioned it. But yeah, that's very familiar. They just promote from within. They give all these great ideas to the producers in order to get a little.
Yeah, it's totally seen from the police side, and the stories come from the police. There are no shades of gray. There's only black and white. They are the good guys. The other people are the bad guys, and you got to have them put away by the end of the episode. And you talk about formula. Every episode, I'm told, resembles that formula.
Exactly.
And it's
A lot of
still
times,
one of the most popular of all time.
and they'll put the criminals that they're going to court, they're white criminals, which is kind of in its own right, wrong, because the more black people, Latino, are the ones who are busted for these cases, but they don't show that side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not all, Derek Chauvin's knee on a black guy's neck. There are, different versions of this, but I am alarmed and resigned to having to encounter this every day or every week. Well,
Right.
like the Brooklyn Park or Brooklyn Center, where the cop thought she was using a taser and was actually using a gun.
I
Okay?
know.
Oh,
I make that mistake all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, am I mistaken, or does the gun look and feel
No.
incredibly different from the taser?
I wouldn't know. I've never used either one, but the thing is, from all people I've talked to, there's no way to get those confused. So
Yeah.
do you do any shooting, Kurt?
no, although recently we had right here in good old Grant, there was someone videoed a poor guy running away from the cops, and he was getting tased along Highway 36.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, this is a little discerning.
He jumped out of his car and was running down the highway, Bob. You gotta check that video out. It's in the
on
middle of
YouTube.
winter.
Yeah.
I will pursue that if you will pursue our road rage guy who was hauled in yesterday because he ran afoul of somebody's dashboard camera. He was parked in front of them, got out of his car with a lead pipe, and ran back to the car whose dashboard camera captured him doing this, pounding on the car, and now he's in jail.
Well,
so when you
all's
say
well that ends well.
I know. When you say Kurt, when you say Grant, do you mean Grant Township?
Yes, Grant Township, and it's no longer Grant Township. It's now the city of Grant, the incorporated.
And what part of the Twin Cities is that?
I'm right next to Kel, so
Yeah.
I have a share border with Matamidi.
Oh, for goodness sake!
So
So,
we
yeah.
could actually co-locate it sometime. So
yeah,
Very close to one of my old stomping grounds, Matamidi Liquors.
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. I go there a lot.
Are we referring to Lassard's?
I don't know. It's just it's just Matamidi Liquor. The one right by the auto body shop right there on the.
Yeah, that used to be Lassard's.
Okay.
I go way back.
Bob, I mentioned Bob's name. They give me a discount all the time.
I should try that.
I feel like I've gravitated into an episode of Hee Haw now. One of my proudest moments was there's a place on 13 in Mendota. This was years ago when my friend Tim French was alive. And I said, I'll have another Foster's. And the wait person says, oh, Mr. Yates, I'm sorry you drank them all.
Yes.
That's quite an anecdote,
Sure, I've heard that. Yeah.
For one's, let's say one's entrance into eternity. Lord Bob Yates is here. He drank all the Fosters at a restaurant in Mendota Heights. in his 40s.
Speaking of alcohol, we're heading to Duluth tomorrow morning. Nico, my son, has got a hockey tournament. And there's nobody who gets drunker than a bunch of hockey parents, hockey dads, hockey moms. It doesn't matter, man. And I know I'm a part of that group culture, but I just look at him and I'm like, slow down, pace yourself. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it's a income thing or if it's living in the boonies thing, but it's just some of these people just don't know when to stop.
Yeah. You should go to Iceland. You should watch them in Iceland. They, especially around Eurovision time, that it's not time to start or not time to stop until you've thrown up 2 or 3 times. They just, the taste is secondary. It's all, am I on another planet yet?
I remember a couple of years ago we were at a tournament and a mom was drinking so much she was barking like a dog while rolling around on the floor. Isn't that
Oh, and by the way, great role models for their kids who are watching
oh,
them do this.
oh yeah,
Right?
I more than once I've seen a son having to bring his mom back to her hotel room for
Yeah.
to make
Every day
sure
somewhere there is a new online video of a middle school level athletic event devolving into a brawl on the court between parents from opposing sides. Man,
Yes.
what's become of us?
I know.
You know? Now,
It's
now your son, is this high school hockey we're talking here?
it's called junior gold, which is basically the club level of a high school. So basically you have your high school varsity JV, but on the other side, club level, you have kids that maybe don't want to play high school or just maybe aren't good enough, but there's some good players in junior gold. So it's like you've heard of club level soccer. This is club level hockey. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
Do they
blast.
have NILs or NFTs? Do they make money doing this?
Do you even know what you're talking about?
There's this child who's a gymnast now. Have you heard of her?
No.
Olivia Dunn. She plays for LSU.
Okay.
She's a gymnast, and this cult is formed around her. They follow her everywhere she goes, like in the days of the old Grateful Dead shows, the Deadheads. And she poses, and they photo bomb her and all this stuff. A cult, and she's making all this money. She has TV commercials. She's an underclass person at LSU.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's
they don't
bad
have to be
enough.
amateurs anymore.
Yeah, I know. It's bad enough when all the professionals are like Ronaldo and Messi are all are the most watched social media people in the world. But, when you have amateurs, kids, people we don't even know are being totally monetized. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a problem.
Well, this is an overreaction to the days when they couldn't make anything, when they were slaves, when they did not, they're not there to go to class.
I know.
They're there as a training ground for the next level, to play on Sunday or whatever the term is. And now they don't have to. Caleb, is it Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner here locally at
Yeah,
USC? He's a wealthy man.
I know.
I
Well, it's
don't think
just
he's
I
a
think it's
sophomore, junior yet.
I know.
It's
And to
nutty.
me, it's like he played at Oklahoma for a year and then transferred because the coach went out there. And I'm just like, it's getting to be like the NFL, like players jumping teams, although it's so easy to the portal, Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
That's why the rumors about Aaron Rodgers going to Las Vegas to be with Devontae Adams or before Brady
Yeah.
retired, the rumor was that he was going to pursue a buddy of his and play on that team. And it's all, good old white boy network.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of Messi, I
I
thought
don't know.
that was nice of him to admit to having misbehaved during the Netherlands game. It's a little late to apologize, but we'll take it.
I think
And
at his
and then
heart,
the classless
he's a good guy.
and then the classless attempt at mocking Mbappe, who'd scored 4 goals against the goalie who was mocking him after the game. I don't know. Have you ever seen such classless behavior in American sports?
No, not at all. But boy, Mbappe is something else. He's so good. They're going to be good. Your France squad's going to be good for years. I think Argentina got theirs, and I think they're done for a while. But France is gonna. I think they got a good pipeline of kids
The
coming
ones
up.
who are in their early 20s and already made names for themselves, whatever the sport, that is just, they're mutants to me.
I know,
They're just,
fascinating. But speaking on the other end, the old guys. So Brady retired. It's like, do you think he's going to try to come back again, or you think this is done for him?
I gotta believe this is it. I mean, I realize his numbers were deceptively impressive at the end of the season, but did you see that final game of his?
Yes.
Who wants to go out that way? And it's not going to get any better.
And a lot of people, I mean, it's just they had I think they had a lot of weapons. I just don't understand. I just think he kind of hit a wall, and divorce will do that to a guy too, don't you think? Or I don't know. What do you think?
I don't
Is
know that that had any
Giselle?
bearing on his life at all, other than the fact that he obviously lost weight and was looking really gaunt.
Yeah,
And divorce will do that. But I think 45, the year 45, his age also had something to do with it.
I think
And in
you're right.
fact, it was obvious he did not want to be hit. He had been hit for 23 years and he was tired of being hit. Well, I'm sorry, you can't be that averse to being hit in the NFL.
And the other thing is, I think he had actually a pretty good career as far as, I mean, he got hit a lot, yes, but I don't think he had any, terrible injuries the way that some of I mean, look at the 49ers alone all their quarterbacks
Yeah.
get hurt this
That's
year.
one
I
of
mean,
that's one of the rumored locations for Brady. He's from the Bay
might have
Area.
been.
Right.
Yeah. Well, now
He was out one year with
Rogers
a
might go
knee.
someplace.
I forget what year it
I'd like
was.
to
He was
play
out
out.
one year with a knee, but other than that, he was pretty
Yeah,
for a
pretty
pocket
durable.
passer who's just standing there
Yep.
waiting to be hit.
Yep.
Nice segue to
You're
Super
right.
Bowl.
What was that?
Nice segue to Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know
I'll be
exactly. Who do you think? Who do you? Where you're
well,
going to be
I'll
to
be
Vegas? Are you going
stopping
to
in
Vegas?
next week for one night to invest. And for the first time, it won't be as a fan, it'll be as a capitalist. Because I can tell that this season belongs to a certain team just by the way they sail through each game, win by 3 or 4 touchdowns. The other team's quarterbacks are wind up on the sidelines. The referees have an all-time terrible day. It's like the Ten Commandments. It's like the parting of the Red Sea. Here, come right ahead, and this year is your year. And I don't
Yeah.
understand why the spread isn't 2 touchdowns and not 2 points. And
Well,
it gives
just
me
because
no.
of
Go ahead.
right. The Mahomes magic. That's the only thing I can think of is that he's got something, even when he's hurt, whatever. This kid, he can sling it. I mean, you've watched him. I mean, jump pass and this and that. But you're right. Philadelphia is the team. I think.
I'm 0 for 2 with him. I went
Really.
against him versus San Francisco and lost. I was supporting him versus Tampa Bay and had to watch him run for his life for 60 minutes. So
Well,
I've zigged when I should have zagged with Mahomes. Hopefully the third time will be the charm. I'm just looking at this strictly as a capitalist.
well,
As soon as the number went up, hundreds of thousands of dollars immediately came in on Philadelphia. And I don't understand why that kind of lean isn't reflecting in a spread that is increasing on Kansas City's side. But it's
yeah,
not. I don't get it.
yeah. I don't know. Try to figure out Vegas. Um,
Well,
I don't know.
how about this? How'd you like to say to yourself, oh man, I got TCU and 2 touchdowns. I can't wait to get this game. I
I
can't wait to
mean,
get this game started. Bring
I
it on.
felt
Hold my
so
beer.
I felt so bad. How much were you like, I haven't talked to you, about that. Is it like were you destroyed? Were you like, oh, go figures, or what? Or are you just like, I miss my money?
Turns out in the second quarter, it was good to be a Presbyterian because with 11 minutes left in the first half, Bennett was hemmed in by a guy and just calmly ran right around him for a first down on 3rd and 15. And when that happened, and the score at the time, I think was 17-7
Yeah.
in the second quarter, I said, well, I can see where this is going.
Mhm.
And as soon as I said that to myself, we had been having torrential rains. I don't know whether you read about
Yeah.
all these rains that cause
Yeah.
mudslides and crap.
Yeah.
The power went out. I was spared.
Well,
I
there you
didn't have to
go.
see another second.
Wow. Well, the
And as it
Lord
turns
works
out,
in mysterious ways.
I would rather have been in darkness than see this
Well,
traumatizing event. There's a billboard out by the airport that they put up strategically for that week. Hey, come visit us in Fort Worth, home of the TCU Frogs. I'm thinking, yeah, go to Fort Worth and meet the traumatized fan base, and the players will never be will never be the same.
well, now wait.
We're like Holocaust survivors now.
What would you have done if they had been up 17-7 at the time? Would you have tried to seek something out, journey
Here's
out
the
into the
deal.
great?
The
What?
Michigan game spoiled me. I'm glad that they proved to people they could beat a team the level of Michigan. I think the Ohio State game would have been closer than that. But Georgia, they're just freaking beasts. They're
Yeah.
just, that's a level of recruiting, and size and speed and conditioning and brushes with the law. They're outlaws too. They're like the old Barry Switzer teams at Oklahoma. Amazingly gifted athletes and not one moral compass among them.
And the quarterback's name is Stetson?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Stetson Fleming something the third. What is yeah.
Stetson Bennett. I mean, that's a
Stetson
CMA
Fleming
award
Bennett the
winner
third.
name.
Mm-hmm. But then he got pulled over for drunken driving or something like that. So, he's the name doesn't mean he's got class. We'll leave it at that.
Well, see, they don't call it the Final Four classathon. They call it the championship game, and these guys are bred in labs in the deep South for this kind of thing.
You're right. You're right.
So I'm totally at peace with it. I have an alum cap, a TCU alum cap, which I was wearing around even before the Michigan game, and
Yep.
people would say to me, "Oh, you're in town for the game?" Thinking there's no way a TCU alum would be living in LA County, let's say. So they say, no, I actually went there. And then after the Georgia game, I had to put it away because then I would be subject to ridicule.
Yes,
And it wouldn't
for
even
your own
do me any
life.
good to say, well, hey, did your team make the championship game? Mine did. There's only one team better. And just so happened they were 58 points better. You could have
Oh,
given 57 and still won.
all right. We got 1 minute. Any
Yep.
final thoughts?
By the time we meet again, I'll have more mysteries
Yes.
to toss out and hopefully solve in the course of a conversation.